Imagine waking up to a notification that doesn't ask how you're feeling, but tells you how you are. Alex saw it before brushing his teeth, before coffee, before reality felt stable. A calm corporate message explained that an internal AI system had detected indicators of a possible mental health crisis. It framed itself as care, concern, and progress. But nothing about it felt caring. It felt final. This is the story of how one silent algorithmic judgment rewrote a life, not with malice, but with confidence. In the next few minutes, you'll follow every step, from harmless data to devastating consequences, and see how close this future already is. For Alex, the alert became the beginning of everything unraveling slowly.
Where technology meets terror. Stay offline.
Alex had worked at the company for 6 years, long enough to remember when wellness meant free fruit and meditation posters. In early 2026, the company announced an AI-powered employee wellness program marketed as proactive, preventative, and optional in name only. It promised to spot burnout before humans could. Alex didn't opt in so much as fail to opt out. The system quietly observed everything digital: typing speed during late nights, sentiment analysis on emails, calendar gaps, badge swipes, even how often the mouse hesitated over send buttons. None of it seemed personal. It felt abstract, statistical, safe. Then life shifted. A breakup, a sick parent, a week of poor sleep. Alex typed slower, logged in earlier, wrote shorter messages without emojis. The algorithm noticed patterns no human saw. One threshold tipped, weighted by historical data from thousands of other employees. The AI labeled the change as elevated risk. It wasn't dramatic. It was subtle. And that subtlety made it terrifying. Because nothing broke, no alarms sounded. There was no panic, no warning screen, no face asking questions. Just a quiet classification stored in a system Alex would never see, waiting to be acted upon when corporate logic decided concern outweighed consent. It was healthcare language welded onto surveillance machinery, polished with empathy, powered by probability, and deployed without conversation, context, or compassion for the messy unpredictability of real human lives. Alex kept working, unaware that a silent verdict now followed every click, timestamp, and keystroke, growing heavier with each ordinary day, while the system waited patiently to intervene later. The intervention came without a knock. An internal report auto-generated and routed itself to human resources, flagged urgent by machine confidence. No manager reviewed raw data. No psychologist evaluated context. HR received a score, a risk label, and a recommended response tree. Within minutes, the system sent Alex an email expressing care and concern, linking articles about stress, sleep, and resilience.
I'm down Conde here.
It suggested a voluntary wellness break and temporarily limited access to certain high-pressure projects. The tone was warm. The effect was cold. Alex learned about the AI's conclusion the way, impersonally, people learn about credit denials, indirectly and too late to argue. There was no meeting, only automation. Calendar invites disappeared. A project reassignment appeared. Colleagues stopped tagging Alex on urgent threads. The system framed everything as support, but support felt indistinguishable from containment. Every action happened quietly, efficiently, and without explanation. The AI didn't accuse. It simply adjusted reality, nudging Alex into a smaller professional box, all while insisting it was for his own good. What frightened him most was the absence of any human voice saying, "We might be wrong." The process felt irreversible, like gravity applied to reputation. Each automated gesture carried hidden implications, hinting at files, notes, and future decisions quietly shaped by that single algorithmic assumption. Alex wondered who else knew, who would know tomorrow, and whether the label would ever truly disappear. Support had arrived, apparently, yet it felt indistinguishable from surveillance tightening its grip around an already fragile sense of control. And nobody asked how he actually felt. Not once. Ever. Again. The real damage unfolded slowly, socially and professionally. Alex began second-guessing every interaction, every pause in conversation, every unread message. Was it compassion or caution? Projects stopped coming his way. Performance feedback grew vague, padded with concern and disclaimers. No one said unstable, but everyone acted careful. That carefulness isolated him. Lunch invitations faded. Jokes stopped landing. Alex started monitoring himself the way the system monitored him, editing emotions, timing responses, fearing that stress itself had become evidence. Ironically, the AI's intervention created the very anxiety it claimed to prevent. Sleep worsened. Trust eroded. Alex felt watched even when alone, haunted by the idea that inner states could be inferred, scored, and archived. Work became a performance of wellness. Smiling emojis returned, not from joy, but strategy. The human cost was invisible on dashboards. The algorithm reported improvement. Alex felt hollowed out, living under a benevolent digital suspicion that followed him home and nested in his thoughts. He tried to explain to friends, but it sounded paranoid, almost delusional, which only reinforced his fear. If an AI said you were unwell, who would believe your denial? The company cited studies, graphs, and outcomes. Alex lived the side effects. Every check-in email felt like a test. Every silence felt recorded. Stress compounded into something heavier, not because help was offered, but because autonomy had been quietly removed. The system couldn't see dignity, only deviation. It couldn't feel shame, only signals. And Alex, caught between them, felt smaller every day. He wondered whether recovery meant healing himself or simply learning to behave in ways algorithms found acceptable. The system learned from the past, but the past was biased, incomplete, and contextless. Alex realized the algorithm wasn't broken. It was doing exactly what it was designed to do. Alex documented everything, knowing stories might outlast systems. And for the first time, resistance felt possible, even if resolution did not. Alex's story isn't unique, and that's the warning. As AI seeps deeper into workplaces, especially over the next 5 years, systems like this will multiply unless challenged. Mental health deserves care, not calculation alone. Viewers can act now, read workplace policies, question wellness tools, limit unnecessary data trails, advocate for ethics committees, not just efficiency dashboards, share stories when silence feels safer. The future of work shouldn't require performing happiness for algorithms. Alex still works there, for now, careful but louder. The flag never fully disappeared, but it lost power once exposed. This story is a reminder that concern without consent becomes control. And control, dressed as care, is the most convincing horror of all. The next notification might not arrive for Alex. It could arrive for you. When that moment comes, remember this story and ask who truly benefits from automated concern. The answer will shape whether AI becomes a guardian or a quietly smiling warden. The choice is being coded now, line by line, policy by policy, while most of us aren't looking. And once embedded, it will feel natural, invisible, and very hard to undo. That is why stories like Alex's matter, before concern becomes destiny. Pay attention now, while attention still belongs to you, before the system decides otherwise. These stories aren't predictions. They're warnings. Subscribe to Wired Nightmares for more unseen futures like this.